Today, I'll be showing you how to make a perfect square in Minecraft. You've probably seen your friends do it, your favorite streamers, your favorite content creators, even your closest family members do it, and you've probably wondered to yourself, how do I do it? So today, I'm here to show you that. To start off, you obviously want a nice super flat world with any preset you like. I prefer having a snowy biome because it's like a nice white canvas and really pops up the colors of your square. I've seen people use the grass biome, the sand biome, but really it doesn't really matter, it's just up to you. Now you gotta decide where you're gonna build it and how you're gonna build it. To answer the where, most people choose to build facing the sun, but I prefer to build where the sun is on the left side because it gives that realistic feel and it just feels nice to know that the sun will set on the west. And this kind of answers the question of how you're gonna build it because it really depends on your playstyle. Do you like things flat or do you like things standing? I like to build things standing because it gives that nice contrast to the snow on the ground and the sky in the air. Now that you got everything settled, it's finally time to start building the square. Starting the square is the hardest part because you have to decide how big you want your square to be. And as Bob Fitzsimmons once said, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. We know that the build limit is 256, so let's try to go with a square that has a block height of 100. And this is why I love building things on the west. You can use the angle to judge how many blocks will be at the bottom. In this case, because of the angle we have, we know that the bottom is going to be 100 blocks wide. So now that we have that, let's decide which block we're going to use to build the square. I think for a beginner level, using the wools like the red wool, the white wool, and the blue wool is perfectly okay. Eventually, when you start getting really good, you want to use maybe like the yellow wools, the brown wools, the black wools, or even the blue wool. And once you reach that Grandmaster level, you can start using maybe even the terracottas, some ores, some leaves, or even TNT. You can use whatever block you like, but today I want to use snow blocks. So I want to start building away from the sun, so that means towards the right. To get that true symmetry in, I like to start with the middle point. So I'm going to build 50 blocks going to the right and then going 50 blocks to the left. So now that you're done with that, it's time to build the sides. You can choose the left side, the right side, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to choose the right side because of where the sun is. Okay, so now I have built 50 blocks on the right side. Let's go to the left side and see how many blocks we can build there. And then, after that, we can go to the right side. Now here comes the second hardest part of the build. Let's start building the top from the right side, moving to the left. You'll see why in a second. So now that we're done with the top, it's finally time to fill in the middle. This is where you can get super creative. You can choose either use the same block, or I like to use a different block. Maybe get that different contrast in, like with black and white, or with red and green, like the Christmas colors. So for this, I'm going to use iron to get that nice shade of white. Some people think that this is the hardest part, and it is. So what you're going to do is do a nice floating technique. It's moving from the left to the right, placing blocks one by one. And you're basically going to do this 98 times. Alright, now that we're done with that, let's look back and see what we have built. And perfect.